Deepak, this sounds good, but now's not quite the right time. Maybe follow up in 6 months and let's pick it up from there. The now's not the right time objection handle. Hi guys, my name's Deepak Shukla, founder at Pearl+Lemon+Sales. We're a sales training and development agency based in the UK as well as the USA and serving clients worldwide. And here today in day number 67 of 119 days of cold calling training, we're here to talk about the now's not the right time objection handle. But before we get into it, feel free to click the link below to get access to 17 additional strategies not shared in this training. So fundamentally, you will come across this objection a fair amount. There'll be different variations of it when somebody tells you, look, now's not quite the right time, Deepak. It does sound good, but maybe follow up with us in 3 months from now. And it's a difficult objection to overcome in terms of, for example, getting a conversation in the books right now. Depending upon the nature of what you're trying to do, you always want to try, in my view, get an appointment from that or with that prospect right now, okay? Get an appointment with that prospect right now. And when you're met with this objection, it's challenging because depending upon what happens over the call, if it's someone who's just avoiding you, then of course there's ways to deal with that. But there's going to be variations around the Deepak, now's not the right time. We've just signed a contract with your competitor. Now's not the right time. We're in a 2-year contract. Now's not the right time. Budgets aren't there. Now's not the right time because we're currently migrating our website. There could be innumerable reasons for why now isn't the right time. And I want to walk through a couple of ways to manage that. So the first one, number one, is if you, Richard, no, I hear what you're saying that now's not the right time. Is there something specific that would prevent you, for example, to even just look at this right now? That's option number one. I hear what you're saying, Richard, that now's not the right time. Listen, Richard, if you're anything like me, there's been a couple of conversations where I'm not sure whether the timing's been right, or I've been adamant the timing hasn't been right. And then I've been so glad that I kind of went along to a phone call or a presentation to learn more about it because it actually ended up entirely changing my business. Richard, I want to be, and I believe we will be that company for you. With that in mind, can you find just 15 minutes of time for us to demonstrate to you what you got? Because I am certain that you will want to find a way to make this happen right now, or at least much sooner once you see what we've got. That's option number two, guys, that you can use the empathetic. If you're anything like me, if you've been in that situation, you've been so, thankful in the end that you've been shown something. So there's that as an option number two in terms of trying to lead it up into a call right now. Option number three is, yeah, Deepak, now's really not the right time. Totally understand, Richard, that now's not the right time. Just to help me ultimately help you when we follow up in a couple of months. What are the circumstances, given that from what I hear, the product could potentially be interesting, that would qualify as the right time for you? So that's another way of asking for more information, okay? But then that's focused around their own qualification criteria. And that's, for example, not only, let's say, the budget, if the budget is the issue, or they've just signed a contract. You want to find out what else it is that they need to know. So, for example, if they say, look, our contract's not up for renewal for another 3 months, so now's not quite the right time. I'd say, Richard, that totally makes sense, buddy. So, given that it's 3 months away, let's just, if we could fast forward into the future and say that 3 months have passed, what else would you need to know if the contract was up for renewal in terms of our product or service that would be important for, us making the shortlist, as an example? And then that way, guys, you're getting more information. So as you can see, the now's not the right time objection handle, you can begin to use the, thank you and apologize question approach, tactical pause pitching, the ask for more information objection approach, a nosy Parker approach. And you can dip in and out of these approaches to fundamentally see what else you can uncover when it comes to the now's not the right time. And strategy number two that I just outlined, if you're anything like me, and when I've been busy, absolutely, and I feel that the timing isn't right for something, a particular product or project, I've been so happy that I've ended up ultimately getting my head into it because of the change it ended up making to my business. So that empathetic area could be a definite means of seeing if you could get the meeting set up, or you do the the workaround where you ask for more information. More information is given, like now's not the right time. What is it specifically that's happening right now, just so I'm clear for when I follow up. So what you do, what I'm doing there is quite interesting actually. So you're showing empathy. You're saying that I understand now's not the right time, but I want to be sure when I follow up that I follow up powerfully. So what is it that would need to be right or aligned? You're asking for more information about what would be the specific circumstances, as well as therefore what makes now not the right time, and that will give you time to prepare another sideways attack. So they might say that, well, it's not just, for example, the contract, it's also the fact that companies need to meet a specific qualification criteria, and that's a problem for us. So you might say, well, aha, that's a qualification that we have. So the now's not the right time objection handle is definitely something that you will have to come up with and contend with. And the end game really should be to still book in a follow-up call, okay? Still book in a follow-up call. So for example, again, if someone says, Deepak, now's not the right time, you can say, okay, brilliant, that makes sense, Richard. I just, while we're here, because I know that we won't be speaking for a couple of months, what would be, the top several questions that you'd have if, for example, you were to take our proposal, like, let's say super seriously, if we impressed you enough, like what else would you need to know from a, I don't know, due diligence perspective or anything that's important to you? And then you can use that list to fundamentally capture all of the information that you need and say, look, Richard, I definitely hear that now's not the right time. I'm just hearing all of the due diligence that you've described, and I know that on this we've got that. So you can go through one by one and say, look, on the case study front, we've got 3 case studies that I can think of when it comes to your niche. One of them actually is quite interesting. Well, so what happened with this product? They were selling COVID-19 replacement tests, and the challenge that we faced, and then we delivered XY result, and that was actually a really fantastic campaign, pretty time sensitive one. And you might, through covering all of the elements of their due diligence, you might open up the timing in their actual mind. So it could become the case that the prospect will think, you know what, Deepak, actually, let's go ahead and set up a further call. Or based upon their responses, they might then feel that, well, based upon their based upon how they respond, you might feel that I can probably push for a follow-up right now, actually. So when someone says now's not the right time, the really important thing is to not just like stop it dead and say, okay, I'll follow up in 2 months. Keep digging, keep searching. Say that if now was the right time, what else would be important to you? What else would be important to you? Number one, okay, so if now was the right time, let's just say, for example, we fast forward X months. What questions would you have for me? Or if now was the right time, maybe I can walk you through some of the things that are important from our perspective in terms of how we feel that we could deliver. So by using some of these techniques and strategies, you might be able to get underneath the now's not the right time objection handle. And the main aim will be to extend the length of the call, because then it might be the case that they bring forward the timing to fundamentally now.
Remember, we've got 17 gated strategies just waiting for you. All you need to do is bing, subscribe, as well as click the link in the description below to get access to those 17. Get some.